What's up, everybody? It's March 31st, 2017. Tomorrow's going to be April Fool's Day. I will be uploading the second and third parts of the Squire Classic Vibe review. The second part will concentrate on the 50s, third part will concentrate on the 60s model. And but this is a follow-up video to my video entitled Beyond the Pentatonic Scale, in which I showed a few exercises to help you get out of the pentatonic rut. You know, just staying in the same shape and playing, or the two shapes. Before moving actually beyond the pentatonic scale, we want to first, I'm going to introduce to you guys another good practice technique that'll spice up your soloing, and that's what's called chord tones. Now, before delving into chord tones, we need to know what a chord is. A chord is basically three or more notes sounded together. So a G or C major chord sounds like that. An A minor chord sounds like that, right? So for major chords, the notes that are involved, there's three notes. There's the root, which that was a C. There's the root. There's the five chord, or I'm sorry, the perfect fifth, and the major third. That's for major chords. When I say perfect fifth and major third, those are basically the names of the intervals in relation to the root. So just remember, a chord is a tritone or more tones. So an A minor chord, as opposed to A major, what constitutes a minor chord is the root, the perfect fifth, and a minor third instead of a major third. So basically, for the minor third, all you have to do is shift it down a half step to get from major to a minor third. So for A, it's A major sounds like this, A minor sounds like this. So it's basically this sound right here. That's the major third going down to the minor third, or the other way around. So, the reason I talked about chord structure is because of this chord tone exercise, and it's really helpful to know what constitutes a chord. And for example, it's like I said, it's three or more tones. So an A7 chord, or A7 minor, that has four tones actually. So let's just stick with the A minors, since we're going to work on the A minor pentatonic scale. So A minor consists of the root A, okay, the perfect fifth, which is an E, the minor third. That note is a repeat. That is what's called an octave. So that's an A. The minor third is a C, so it's A, E, octave A, or I'm sorry, C, and then octave of the E, the perfect fifth. So obviously there's different chord voicings. You can play them in different ways, but that's for another video. So again, we have A, C, and E. That is the chords, or the notes that make up the A minor chord. So this exercise is called a chord tone exercise, and that's just you putting on a backing track, for example, in this case an A minor backing track, and soloing using only the chord tones, which are this. Example, A, C, E. I'm sorry, A, C, E, A, C, E, A, C, E, A, C. Okay? So C, A, E. That's C, A, E. And this is C, A, E, C, A. So using only those three notes, try and construct a solo using only those three notes. And of course, you don't want to be just in one position on the neck. You want to do those chord tone exercises all across the 5 different positions of the pentatonic scale. Okay, so again, A, C, E, A, C, E, A, C. So use only those notes, and that's the A minor pentatonic scale. Um, and you can use this exercise. Once you know that, it's basically the same for all minor keys, because the beauty of the guitar is its transposition. You can transpose any key just by moving up or down one or two or whatever frets. For example, this is an A, it's a B, right? So um, why is it important? Why is that exercise important? Well, when you're playing over a chord such as an A minor, um, you're essentially, the chord's playing in the background. So if you spice up your playing, the other notes that aside from the chord tones, such as when you're playing fills, especially if you can land on a chord tone, then that sounds better than if you land on a non-chord chord tone, or if you emphasize a chord tone. If you put a lot of emphasis through phrasing, through vibrato, etc., on a chord tone, it sounds better than emphasizing non-chord tones. Now, that's not a rule, it just sounds more right, I guess. That's one of the, I guess, fundamental rules that I learned. A lot of, I've seen a lot of guitarists who, they're very well versed in, in the fretboard basically, and they know their modes and everything, but the sound is just off. They have wonderful phrasing, the sound is just off, and one of the reasons is they're not using the chord tones and utilizing them effectively. So you want to up and down the neck, you want to do that exercise with chord tones. Now, for a C major chord, it's going to be different. Even though A minor and C major are relative minors and majors, for a C major chord, instead of instead of an A, you're going to be using an E. Okay, so the E stays, and instead of the A, you're going to be using a G, as opposed to an A minor. So the components that make up a C major chord is C, E, G. And even though it uses the same shape and the same fingerings as the A minor chord, because they're relative majors and minors, the chord tones are different. So if you're playing over a C major backing track, or if the key is in C major, again, you want to land on those different chord tones. So instead of landing on A, you land on G, the note just before it. So it would be C, C, E, G, right? And then you can do, right, C, right? You want to use those three notes if you're playing a C major backing track, and you want to be able to know that up and down the neck. So those two things you want to practice: the minor chord tones and the major chord tones, and that'll really help your lead playing, because it's a you're putting emphasis on tones that are echoed in the background in the backing track, which just makes it sound better. I don't think it's a matter of taste. I think it's kind of an unwritten rule, but yeah, definitely chord tones. Now, the next thing we're going to do is, for those of you who don't know the 5 shapes, I'm just going to give you a primer, but we're going to move on to the diatonic scale, which actually goes beyond the pentatonic. So the 5 shapes of the pentatonic scale. Now, the diatonic scale and the pentatonic scale are basically the same. The diatonic scale is a 7-note scale, and it uses the same shapes as the pentatonic shapes, except it adds 2 notes. So whereas in the pentatonic scale, there's only two notes per string, you're going to have 2 or 3 notes per string in the diatonic scale, because it has 7 notes. And I will save that for a part 2 or part 3, which should be uploaded right after this.